Welcome back to the KingCast, brought to you by the Economics Division of the Social Sciences Department. As always, I'm your host, Frank Roche. With me, Jack Zipper and Griffin Joo. Today in Hot Topics, Jack has dollars and cents of the Super Bowl for us. Griff finds Trump talks too much in South Carolina, and I have another debt alert. As always, we're checking on King Winter Sports, the King community. We have our Super Bowl poll preview for lunches this week, and as always, we check on the economic data and financial markets price action. Jack, it's a big day. Not quite as big as World Cup days, World Cup stuff, but Super Bowl is a pretty big event for us here and for a big part of the globe. Expecting lots of eyes to turn to the TV at 6 o'clock today. And of course, there's lots of money involved, Jack. Tell me about the dollars and cents of the Super Bowl.
Thanks, Mr. Roche. Every year, the U.S. gets a case of Super Bowl fever, and it's big business. The Super Bowl is taking place in Las Vegas this year and will throw an extra spotlight on the Strip. Hotel room rates have soared since the Chiefs and the 49ers clinched their spots in the big game, despite additional room supply that was added following the opening of the new Fontainebleau. High-end consumers are not pulling back on their Vegas expenditures, as the Las Vegas Strip gross gaming revenue was up 11% year over year and reached a record tally of $905 million in December. In addition, Super Bowl tickets are not cheap. The average cost has been north of $8,000, according to recent figures from StubHub. Many have already started betting on the big game as well, with legal wagers expected to top $1.35 billion across the 39 regulated U.S. markets. Of course, what's going on at home also makes the big bucks. Households across the U.S. will huddle around screens to watch the big game and take part in the great tradition of featured commercials, which cost around $7 million for a 30-second slot.
Holy cow, Jack, those are big numbers, and it gets bigger every year, it seems. Jack, let me ask, can we talk the NFL anymore without talking Taylor Swift? What do we expect?
Well, viewership might also be subject to the Taylor Swift effect, with Taylor Swift's appearance predicted to drive viewership to record levels, so much so that it could make the NFL upwards of $118 million extra dollars.
That's incredible. All right, so I don't think there's really a Super Bowl if the Patriots aren't in the Super Bowl, quite frankly. I mean, I'm getting used to it. It's been a few years. Tom Brady, what was 2021 Brady with the Buccaneers?
Yeah, 2020.
I'm trying to adjust. I'll only be watching this game for the commercials. First time ever. Be an exciting day. Who do you got, Griff?
I'm going 49ers here.
Okay, I'm taking the Niners as well, Jack.
You know, it's hard to bet against the Chiefs, but I've been saying it since the start of the year. I have to stick with my 49ers. You know, I'm a Giants fan. It's a little bit frustrating to see them doing well, but, you know, I'm going to stick with my preseason prediction.
All right, and that's cool. Either way, though, they touch on the past records. If San Fran wins, they become the second team with 6 Super Bowl wins.
Yes.
And if KC wins, they become the first team since the second back-to-back Pats victories in the late 2010s. So a little annoying here, and Patrick Mahomes keep creeping up on Tom Brady's Super Bowl records. Has Kelsey taken out Gronk in terms of Super Bowls and playoffs, do we know?
So not yet, but he has broken the playoff reception record, and he's well on his way to beating Gronk in every
All right. So the past game, we're a little bummed on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, big business, big game. So I'm a little bothered by how much gambling is focus of sports these days. I think we have a whole bunch of commercials about gambling. Be careful in gambling. Gambling can be very addictive. All right, Griffin. Trump was talking South Carolina primary coming up. He won the Nevada primary pretty easily, and talking a lot of stuff about Nikki Haley. What's he have to say down in South Carolina?
Yeah, with the GOP nomination still going on, Donald Trump brought the competition for the Republican nomination to Nikki Haley's home territory, and the former South Carolina governor was ready to engage in the contest. Former President Trump threw questions about where Haley's husband was. Haley's husband, Major Michael Haley, is currently serving in the Horn of Africa. These questions come at a time where there is some speculation that Haley may be having some problems in her marriage, but nonetheless, Haley responded. The intense exchange unfolds as the Trump campaign aims to strongly criticize Haley in her home state ahead of the upcoming primary this month. As Haley's path to the GOP nomination narrows and she stands as Trump's sole remaining competitor, she has reciprocated by escalating her criticism against him. Subsequently, she capitalized on Trump's attacks to raise funds. In her own separate rally, she responded that anyone who mocks the military doesn't deserve to be president, and that Trump would fail a mental competency test right now. With 2 weeks remaining, Trump continues to keep his eyes locked in on South Carolina, hoping to repeat his victory with Nevada.
She's doing a good job taking on Trump in his own way, right? He likes to blast rhetoric, blast his opponents. So good for her for taking him on. Though, Griff, I have to wonder, what are her chances right now when it comes to winning South Carolina?
Well, they're not great. The latest polls are showing that Trump is almost a lock at 63%, where Haley has a large gap to close at 37%. And in the entirety of the U.S., Trump holds 75% in the Republican primary, where Haley is fading at 25%. While Haley continues to fight, the odds are definitely against her here.
Yeah, it's tough. And he shouldn't be attacking the U.S. military. I mean, that was just silly to attack her husband in that way. And he was mocking, as he always does. If you listen to his speech, he's teasing, he's mocking. So lots of stuff there. And then he also went off about in that talk in South Carolina about he would allow President Putin to attack NATO members if they didn't pay their NATO fees. And he went negative again in a really stupid way. And that's going to be a talking point for Democrats for the next several months. Really stupid things to say. He needs to learn to control his mouth. All right, good job, guys, as always, with great topics. I want to bring on a little alert. I wish I was looking for a little red siren I could hold up today, or some sort of graphic. I'm sure I can find a graphic to put in the video. Alert, 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 warning, warning, warning. I want to flash this red light. The U.S. government is piling on debt at unprecedented speed. We are now above $34 trillion in outstanding national debt. Just shocking. As of February 2nd, we're $34.4 trillion in debt. If you want to check this out on your own, go to the U.S. Treasury, outstanding government debt to the penny. You can find all the details there. It's up $1 trillion. National debt's up $1 trillion since September 29th, 2023, just 4 months ago. Shocking. Up $6 trillion since first quarter of 2021. Remarkable growth in debt. Both parties are responsible for this. Of course, Joe Biden is leading this current surge in debt. And he, unfortunately, is going to take the crown for the president who's increased the national debt the most of any president. So really shocking stuff and really dangerous to the following generations, really bad government policy. And of course, there's all kinds of macroeconomic effects that will likely come to this down the road. We look at more debt. States are in debt $3.5 trillion. Household debt $17.5 trillion. Non-financial business debt $1.3 trillion. That takes us to $56.3 trillion in debt that the U.S. economy is carrying, and this is largely unsustainable. We cannot do this for much longer. And if something isn't done soon, your children's children will be paying the price for this, as will the whole U.S. economy. Interest payments for the first time on federal debt alone is approaching $1 trillion per year. That's now our fourth largest expenditure behind Social Security, Medicare, and defense. And so really scary stuff.
What can be done, Mr. Roche?
Well, Griff, as you and Jack know from studying economics with me, there's not a whole lot to do, and it's not a very sophisticated challenge. There's three options we have. We can cut spending, we can raise revenue, or some combination of both. In terms of total outstanding debt, nominal amounts of money, it's the most in human history and the most currently on the planet. Other countries have more difficult situations with respect to their size of their economy and their outstanding debt. Think China, think Japan, think Italy. But in terms of absolute gross numbers, we're way beyond anything reasonable. And we're going to pay the price for this eventually. Some people think we won't, but I predict we will. It won't take too much longer. All right, a little dire warning there for us. Pay attention to debt. Spend within your means. The only way to save is live within your means. When we think about personal finance, you have some sort of fixed income, and the only way to save is live on less than your income. All right, let's move on to more entertaining things in our wonderful King community. Griff is back. Griff, we missed you last week, but welcome back to the show. And of course, you bring us our King community knowledge. What's going on in the King community the past week?
Fifth graders wowed a full house at the Performing Arts Center last Friday with their delightful rendition of Willy Wonka Jr. The musical's fantastical elements and charming songs were expertly brought to life by the actors, and while I was not able to attend, I heard raving reviews about the performance. After completing AP Psychology last year, a group of now seniors approached their teacher, Paul Snyder, with an idea for an independent study outside of the classroom. These students delivered their presentations to the upper school in the PAC where they spoke about their findings. And finally, the King's School Parents Association delved into the challenge of digital parenting head-on at their February 8th PA Speaker Series. Dr. Devorah Heitner, a renowned tech consultant and author, packed the Performing Arts Center with parents eager for her practical, judgment-free insights on raising kids in this tech-driven world.
Yeah, that was an interesting talk for sure. Always fun things going on in the King community. I heard great things about the Willy Wonka Jr. performance as well, and really cool stuff about the AP Psych. Paul Schneider, one of our best teachers at King, doing a wonderful job with that whole curriculum. All right, Jack, it's been an exciting year for King sports, in particular the boys varsity basketball and boys varsity hockey. Tell us what's happened in King sports last week.
Well, unfortunately, it was a pretty quiet week for King Upper School Athletics. King's hockey team faced FAA title rivals RCDS at Stanford Twin Rinks and absolutely demolished them 9-1 in a statement victory. Brendan Bradley led the way with a hat trick, and to top it off, King School confirmed their playoff position with only a game to go in the regular season. King boys basketball opened their week with a big 82-52 win over the Hoosac School, with AJ Trimboli and George McCormick leading the way for the Vikings, combining for 9 threes made. Their hot streak did come to an end with some tight losses to Masters and Hotchkiss, but the team is certainly still playing great basketball heading into their final week of the regular season.
Jack, AJ gets a name check every week, huh? Is he a leading scorer?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, really good, great season for him for sure. And of course, the other guys as well, we mentioned regularly. All right, good job in King Sports. Let's go ahead and turn our attention to lunch. I really enjoyed this past week's lunches. A lot of chicken, a lot of good stuff, I thought. Wings on Friday were outstanding. We enjoyed the wings on Friday? Yeah?
I certainly did, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had the nacho thing. It was kind of a Super Bowl themed lunch for us. So it was really enjoyable. So as always, we give a big shout out to Junior and Eswado with the Flick Proof and taking care of us. Thank you very much each day. Don't forget to get your dishes in flatware back to the kitchen by 1 p.m. so they can wash the dishes before they leave. They don't want to see them in the morning. Remember, no food outside the cafeteria. And can we talk just for a second about the rampant line cutting that goes on each day at lunch? I've become kind of a policeman down there in the lunch line, which has been kind of fun. Everyone's kind of enjoying that a little bit. But some rampant line cutting. Are we line cutting, Griff? Are you a line cutter? Yes, that's a yes. How about you, Zipper?
No, I'm not a line cutter.
More sympathetic I could not be, but you can't line cut. Don't do it. It's rude. It's disrespectful. It implies you're important than your fellow students. Lastly, it's kind of unethical and kind of against the King culture, taking care of each other. And for all those who use the smart routine of going down the back stairs to get to the front of the line just before the lunch doors open, that's got to stop too. That's also line cutting. Long lines are a drag, especially when you're hungry. More sympathetic I cannot be, but you got to wait your turn. The Flip crew moves pretty fast. The lines don't last that long. Listen, I hate lines too. Anyway, no line cutting. We had a Super Bowl poll plus for this week. Thank you for participating in the poll as always. Our first question was, do you plan on watching the Super Bowl? 82.5% of respondents said they can't wait, with 17.5% indicating they have better things to do. I'll watch some, not all of it, but I'll be watching some. Jack, what is our second question?
So our second question was, do you like watching the Super Bowl commercials? 67.7% said that's the best part of the game, and 32.3% said no.
Griff, our third question?
Our third question asks, which team are you rooting for? And shockingly enough, 63.3% are taking the Chiefs, with 36.7% taking the 49ers. And can I just say, 63% taking the Chiefs is ridiculous to me.
You don't like that turnout. Now, we're all in the Niners, so we're in the minority here.
Rooting for a good game.
What's that, Jack?
I'm just rooting for a good game right now.
Okay, that's what you want. It's a good game. Yeah. Jack, what's our fourth question?
So the fourth question was, what is your favorite Super Bowl food? And it's a tough one to answer. The top 5 were wings at 33.7%, chips and salsa, nachos, and pizza were all tied at 11.2%. Guacamole came in a close third at 10.2%, and pigs in a blanket came at fourth at 5.1%, with burgers and mac and cheese tied for fifth place at 3.1%.
You know, that's a tough list to make. I was trying to create the poll. Did I miss anything on the list that you might enjoy at your Super Bowl party?
Chili?
Okay, chili wasn't on there. Okay, chili.
I mean, I would say sliders, but burgers is
Sliders,
basically
yeah, I
done.
could have been hot dogs. I'm sure everyone knows pigs in a blanket is hot dogs wrapped in dough. But yeah, we could have made a very long list. So a tough one to answer, but thank you for playing anyway. Griff, our fifth question.
The fifth question asked if you ever watch or listen to the KingCast. 46.8% said sorry, no. 37.2% said haven't missed it, and 16% don't know the KingCast.
A good majority of the people who get the email tend not to listen to us. And then our last question was, do you read the weekly market report? 62.4% said sorry, no. 23.7% every week, and 14% don't know what the weekly market report is, similar to the KingCast. All right, thank you everyone for taking our poll questions as always. And of course, let's take a quick preview on this week's lunches, a little shortened week. And guys, what do you think? Are we having a snow day on Tuesday?
Well,
This is
yeah,
looking likely.
fingers
Now,
crossed.
this will post on Monday, so some of our audience will get to listen to this Monday. I was looking at the weather just a short time ago. Early Tuesday morning, it's going to snow. It's going to be 100% snow. So maybe we might get a snow day. Not that we don't need to learn, be together at the King School, but it might be a nice little treat as we have a shortened week. All right, lunch on Monday, Jeff?
So on Monday, we have BBQ pork or pasta vegetable pomodoro with garlic chive, mashed potatoes, and the soup is a cream of broccoli.
Griff?
On Tuesday, we have a chicken sausage jambalaya or vegetable jambalaya. The soup is a chicken gumbo, and a special treat on the action station, homemade beignets.
Yes, can't wait for that. It's very cool. Jack, how about Wednesday?
On Wednesday, we have baked potato, chopped bacon, cheese sauce, and beef chili. The soup is a pasta fagioli. And another special treat on the action station, hot cocoa and chocolate chip cookies.
All right, we'll take it. Nice. We have the snow day before Tuesday. Come back for some hot chocolate and cookies on Wednesday. That'll work for me. And then we're off for a couple of days, Thursday and Friday, for President's Day weekend. All right, guys, that's the easy stuff. Let's get into the more serious stuff. Check on economic data for the weekend in February 9th. Start us off on Friday. No data. Jack, what do we have on Thursday?
On Thursday, we have initial unemployment claims for the week ending February 3rd, 218,000 versus 224,000 in the prior week.
Still pegged at very low levels. The layoffs that are rampant around the economy are not showing up in the claims data. Griff, Wednesday?
MBA mortgage applications for the week ending February 3rd, up 3.7% versus down 7.2% in the prior week. December international trade balance goods and services down 62.2 billion versus down 61.9 billion in November.
I've been watching this number for how many years now? Let's see, 10, 20, 30, over 35 years. And it's just deficit after deficit after deficit, and we just do nothing about it. Really amazing. Tuesday, no data. Jack, what do we have on Monday?
On Monday, we had the January ISM non-manufacturing index 53.4 versus 50.5 in December. A reading above 50 is expansionary.
Our services do well, and that's why it's above 50. The manufacturing index still is below 50. A challenge there. When we talk about trade deficits, we have to talk about manufacturing. All right, how about for this week, the week of February 12th? I'll start us off. Monday, no data. We do have a Fed speaker. Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari is speaking. Griff, what do we have on Tuesday?
Tuesday, we have the January Consumer Price Index.
Griff, what about Wednesday?
Wednesday, we have the MBA mortgage applications for the week ending February 10th.
Thursday, Jack?
Thursday, we're going to have the initial unemployment claims for the week ending February 10th, the February New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, February Philadelphia Federal Business Conditions Index, January retail sales, January capacity utilization, January industrial production, December overall net capital flows, and we have Fed Speaker, Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic.
Okay, well, it's a busy day on Wednesday for sure. Although nothing really market moving on Wednesday. Philly Fed business conditions and retail sales might move markets. On Friday of this week, we have January PPI, January housing starts, and February Michigan consumer sentiment. For the week, CPI will get the most attention. That comes out on Tuesday, our inflation gauge, see what this means for the Fed's meeting in March. Okay, moving on, let's check into financial markets. I'll start us off with stocks in the S&P 500, opened the week at 4,945. Another new high set this week. The high for the week was on Friday at 5,029, another new high right there. Low on Monday at 4,937. The market closed on Friday just shy of the highs at 5,026. Up 81 points for the week, up 1.6%. Record highs again in the week with a range of 92 points. Jack, bonds?
Well, the benchmark 10-year U.S. Treasury bond yield opened the week at 4.13%, had a high on Friday of 4.19%, a low on Tuesday of 4.08%, closed the week at 4.18%, so up 5 basis points for the week, and the range for the week was 11 basis points.
All right, Griff, what about foreign exchange?
The ICE US dollar index opened the week at 104.45. The high was the open 104.45. The low was on Tuesday at 103.98 and a close of 104.08, down 37 pips for the week. And the range for the week was 47 pips.
Yeah, a little higher interest rates didn't really help the U.S. dollar. Coordinated central bank activities around the world has us lowering rates before other countries might be hitting the dollar a little bit. And then lastly, commodities. The Dow Jones Commodities Index opened the week at 944.29, had a high on Friday of 953.12. Low was on Monday at 942.17 and closed the week at 950.15, just off the highs, down 5.6 points for the week, or 0.6%. The range for the week is 11 points. Oil and gold still dominate the commodity sector right now in terms of interest and activity. So again, for the week, higher stock prices, yet again, higher interest rates, U.S. dollar was weaker, and lower commodity prices. Strange correlations, and it's all about this unusual activity in the stock market. All right, guys, that's it for the show today. Let's finish off with our friendly reminders.
Do your reading, do your homework, and come to class prepared.
Use your blinker when making turns or switching lanes. Stop signs mean stop, and no texting while driving.
That is it for us. We're off next week because we have the weekend holiday off. Tell your friends and family, watch the KingCast at kingschoolct.org. Academics, upper school, clubs, and activities. We're out of here.